watching any news. I let the planet spin without me, 'cause everything has been without me sometime. And everyone will be alright if I'm not live by satellite. It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Film Box Podcast, a movie podcast made for movie fans, by movie fans, presented, now we can say, by Press Play, which we'll talk about in a minute. From tier lists and top five, some movie reviews and really bad hot takes, we've got anything and everything a movie fan could ever want. I'm your host, Aaron Souza, and my favorite Halloween candy is probably like Almond Joys or something. I don't know.
And I'm Connor. My favorite candy is a good old Kit Kat.
A Kit Kat? Oh, what is it? Oh, no,
Good old
Slim,
Kit Kat.
that's Slim Jim. I was going to say snap into its Kit Kats.
Could not be more different.
Wow.
You want
Well,
to a great start?
yeah, we are off to a rolling start here this October. It's week 2 of Spoopy month. And we've got some pretty cool a pretty cool announcement to make, which I'll do off the top here. And a great episode, I think, for you in store. But first off, we got to talk about it. Obviously, we have expanded the brand. So we are no longer just operating as the Film Box, although the Film Box will continue to live on in podcast form. We are now rolling up to the brand Press Play, and we're collaborating with another podcast friend of ours, and really expanding the brand to be more than just movies and to be everything about entertainment, whether it be movies and TV, video games, sports, books, and other written works, like all that kind of stuff. We're putting it all into one brand where you can go and find out what's the latest, what's happening in sports, but also what's the latest in the video game industry and what's hot about that, and what do we think of your favorite games, and what's I guess what's happening on TV as well, because that's really important, something that we don't really cover. So yeah, you can visit that at pressplaymag.com. The site is live, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. But on today's episode of the Film Box Podcast, we're going to be continuing. It's week 5 of our 30 weeks of movies podcasts. I don't know what we're calling it. We're gonna come up with. I'm gonna come up with a different name every
At
time.
some point, we will have a name figured out.
Are we doing a movie grid today? We're gonna try.
We're gonna do a movie grid,
and we're gonna do a tier list, ranking movies that we think we could survive in, which will be a lot of fun. But first, before we get into that, we got to do this week's theme of the 30 weeks of movies on the podcast, which is this week is a movie that you wish you had been there for the premiere. I think that's like the exact wording. But yes, so a movie that you wish you had been at the premiere for. Connor, why don't you kick us off? Oh, okay. Also, it's just the two of us, by the way. Sam's not here. Well, actually, It's the three of us. If you can see it, we do have a cat as well.
Oh. One kitty.
Yeah, one kitty. But
so,
yeah, kick us off.
First off, this is just true to myself. I would have loved to see Jaws that opening night.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have been awesome. I would have been so scared. In the same vein, and maybe just because we might talk about it later, I just watched The Exorcist Believer. I wish I could just be like a fly on the wall when the original came out. Because I don't know if you remember, it was like all the stories of like people passing out, fainting. I would have loved to experience that as a sicko.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's wild.
Well, it's just more like I need to see what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my obvious one, the Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame. I wish I didn't, or I don't think we saw Infinity War together.
Yeah,
I don't think it was opening night.
yeah. It wasn't. I mean, we saw it.
We
We
saw it
definitely
early.
saw it like one of the first days that it came out. Like it was like opening weekend or something like that,
Mhm.
which still kind of
But
counts. But
it kind of counts. But like, I guess in a greater sense, Endgame. I wish I saw that night because I waited a while to see it.
mm-hmm.
So things had been spoiled by then,
Yeah,
which sucked. But
yeah.
it was still, at the time, it was still a great movie. Now I hate it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a hot take.
Well, time travel, you know.
Hmm.
Time travel, there are a lot. My YouTube must think I am the biggest fucking Marvel hater because I get a lot of video essays recommended. It's all just like, here's why the MCU sucks. Like, Doctor Strange, flop. Ant-Man, flop. And like, it's true, but like,
Damn.
it's like, yo, give me something else.
Yeah. I for a while I had that with Game of Thrones. It was like one dude's YouTube channel where for the last 8 years he's just been why Game of Thrones season 8 sucks. Everything wrong with Game of Thrones season 6.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like it's the same account,
Yeah.
and at first, like, I watched one video because I think he made a video about like why like the villains in the MCU have kind of sucked. And then I was like, okay, this is like a fun little video to watch. And then I watched another video. It's like, yeah, She-Hulk is like the worst show ever. And it kind of started leading into that like misogynistic way. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there, bud. And I'm going to turn this off.
we're gonna be done with that right now.
This is not the pipeline I would like to go down right now.
Yep. But for my movie, I've got one choice this week, which is different from last week where I had 5.
I wonder what this could be.
I mean, you know it's what it is, but it's true. Like, I wish I had been there to see the original Star Wars. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the only one that I can think of where I'm like desperate to have been in the theater, and I think about it often. Like, this is not just like, oh, I had to come up with something. Like, I think about what it had been like to be there, because it opened in like less than 20 theaters across the US when the original opened. So like to have been there for that first showing where it's like very underground, like this is no one really knows about this, and then to as a part 2 to have been there when it exploded and was like a major nationwide phenomena. Like, I don't, there's just something about that in that era in the late 70s to have been able to see that. I would have been so happy. So,
Oh, I know you would have.
that's my pick. Short and sweet. I'm sure anyone who listens to this podcast could have predicted it. But
you know, there's nothing wrong with being predictable.
it's true. It's true. It's true. Also, before we jump into this movie grid, we got to talk about what we've been watching recently, which is something we usually do at the top of the podcast, but I forgot.
I got it ready this time.
Yeah. All right, Connor, why don't you kick us off with what you've been watching recently?
So I've kind of been away since our last recording.
It is
Went to a wedding
season after all.
Dude, so many weddings. Not that I've been invited to all of them, but just like seeing everyone post about weddings the same day, I was like, God damn.
I don't get invited to weddings.
Listen, one's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So pretty much I've only seen 2 movies since the last time we've talked, which was Deep Red, which I said another Dario Argento piece. I didn't like it as much as Opera, but like, it was still very Argento-y.
What is his style? Because I don't know anything about him.
So he's an Italian filmmaker. A lot of his, have you ever seen? You definitely haven't seen Suspiria, but have you heard of it?
I've heard of it.
So they're usually pretty colorful. Especially with opera, like he does a really good job maneuvering the camera as if it's like another actor.
Interesting. Yep.
A lot of the times he'll use it as like a stand-in for the killer. Great gore, like a lot of practical stuff.
Solid.
But it is funny sometimes. The music does not match the tone at all. Like in opera, there's a scene of like this guy getting like stabbed to death through like the throat and everything, and it's just like this zany beat going on. It's like do 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 do. While like this person has like nails taped to their eyelids, so if they blink, they'll stab their eyes out.
Oh.
And it's just like this is not the music for this.
Oh God.
Yeah, he is. A lot of people have imitated him, but
yeah,
he pioneered that.
What else
What
have you seen? No, you didn't finish.
Oh, sorry.
You did not finish. You said I've seen 2 movies, and here's one.
Here's one. Now I saw The Exorcist Believer that just came out. I didn't think it was as bad as everyone's saying. Made by our good friend David Gordon Green.
And what a fall from... If we're talking about fall from graces, like, you got Taika and you got David Gordon Green.
Yeah, I mean, to give him a little compliment sandwich, he's good at, like, taking, Halloween, the Halloween 2018 franchise, if you didn't know, that's what we're kind of referring to.
Yeah.
That, like, reboot... 2018 was great. He did a good job of like modernizing the story, and then it just kind of fell apart. And with this one, like, good job of like bringing it back to like modern times, but kind of boring.
Oof. That's not what you want to hear.
It's like there's good moments, but they should not have. I'm a firm believer they shouldn't have made any more Exorcist movies. If they did not try to slap in the actress from the original who played Chris McNeil, and they just made a completely different possession movie, I think it would be perceived a lot better. But because it's an Exorcist film and he does try to kind of bring in that same feel as the original Exorcist, you can't help but like pick out like, okay, like I am not tense at all. Like this is a cheap jump scare coming. And it's made worse by the fact that it's been made public now that Blumhouse bought the rights for a trilogy of these movies for $400 million.
So those are getting made regardless.
They're getting made, but I think that was also kind of the problem with his Halloween movies. At first, it was like, okay, we're just gonna make the first one and then take it from there. And then after the first one did well, it was like, okay, actually no, we're making this into a trilogy.
Yeah, there was no plan.
Yeah. There was no cohesive plan, and like I don't know what they're gonna do from here because it was a pretty open shut like story.
Yeah. Speaking of Halloween, A24 is in the bidding. They're putting up the rights for Halloween have been basically put up for sale, which we saw. We knew it was gonna happen after the last one.
I think we said it. Yeah,
we both predicted that they were gonna be like, well, he's dead, but it's gonna make a lot of money. So they're selling the rights to the Halloween, and A24 is swooping in to hopefully, I believe they said that they're like, they want the TV rights to be able to swoop in and be like, okay, let's make it a series that's like Halloween 3, where it's not related to Michael Myers, which is the right way to go.
It's an anthology. It's exactly what they should have done.
Yeah. But that's
hopefully hopefully they can get it and make something great, because I think they got like some great minds over there.
Oh, A24 is great.
Mhm.
Okay, on to what I've seen recently.
Yes.
So I have also only seen 2 movies since the last time we podcasted. And I've just been really busy. I haven't been able to watch too much. But I did see, at the recommendation of a coworker of mine who was adamant that even though I'm a movie podcaster and movie critic, amateur, of course, she was flabbergasted that I had not seen The Great Gatsby. So she was like, your homework is to watch Great Gatsby, of which I was like, you're giving me homework to watch a movie.
I'm an adult. You can't do that to me.
Yeah, so then I gave her homework as well to watch Ocean's 11 and Treasure Planet, both of which she had not seen. So, I had to throw it back. But I did watch The Great Gatsby. I was less than impressed. I thought it was fun, but it was way too... it was way too over the top. It was a Baz Luhrmann production, like, very obviously, and his whole deal is like over the top production, glamour. And yeah, that's part of the times of the movie, like it's the roaring 20s, jazz age, but it was just, it sacrificed story, of which the story is incredible, for the looks and the glitz and glamour, the overshooting, it was just, I just wasn't that impressed, but it was still fun, so I gave it a 3.
It's a very extravagant film.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for, is extravagant. It was very over the top in its extravagance. But, and then...
It's a shame old sport.
It's a shame old sport. And then I watched Reptile, which we were talking a bit before the podcast about. For whatever reason, Reptile, Netflix makes these movies and then they come out and they're like, oh, it's number 1. It's number 1 on our charts. Everyone watch it. It's number 1, the most viewed. Or number 1. And I'm like, is it though? Because no one's talking about it. Actually, there were a few people talking about it. I was not impressed. I did not like it at all. Actually, that's a lie. I liked the first half. The second half is where I had real issues with it. Because it's like, it's, if you don't know what it is, Reptile is a detective crime thriller, starring Benicio del Toro, Alicia Silverstone, and Justin Timberlake. And it had a cool concept. It had a good atmosphere, which I really liked. Benicio del Toro and Alicia Silverstone are really good. They're very charismatic characters in it. But it was the tale of two halves of the movie. The first half was solid. The second half was not. It was very confusing. It devolved from like a cool story that had a good flow to here's just a bunch of scenes that don't really connect and is very confusing as to what's going on. And we were talking before I cut off our conversations we could talk about on the podcast. The thing that really annoyed me the most about Reptile is that throughout the first half of the story, they were playing up the importance of Del Toro's character, Tom Nichols, who's a detective, hardened, like getting close to retirement kind of detective, very stereotypical, but he played it very well. And he had this dynamic between him and his partner, who was a detective named Dan Cleary, played by Edo Asando, who I thought was very good. And they had this really cool dynamic, and it felt very, in the first half, it felt very like True Detective-y, where it's like these two, without like the hostile nature between the two, but just very much that like detective and partner nature. And then in the second half of the movie, it's just gone. He's just not there anymore. And Asando's character is just gone. And he doesn't die. He doesn't, like, nothing happens. He just stops being in the movie. I'm like, what? Where does this happen? And then it just becomes very much focused on Del Toro's character and his like state of mind, and then there's this big twist ending at the end with a massive gunfight. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, where's his partner? He doesn't bring his partner to any of this. And it's just it's very frustrating.
That's so weird.
It is.
Like
'Cause that was part of the best part of the movie was like
the dynamic.
this dynamic between the two and the mystery of like who actually committed the murder, and because they had some really interesting cast of suspects. Was it the boyfriend who's played by Justin Timberlake? Was it the ex-boyfriend? Was it the weird creepy guy who'd been wronged by the family? It is a whole thing, a whole like dynamic thing, and that was really kind of cool. And then it just devolved into like a lot of confusing plot points that didn't really make sense, and it lost it. And unfortunately, the director Grant Singer, which is his debut, and we talked about this is a bad year for debuts. His debut, he is known for being a music video director and has worked with like The Weeknd and Skrillex and stuff like that. And it showed that he wasn't experienced enough to do a feature-length film. Like he had it there in the first half and just couldn't hold it the whole second half. So 2 out of 5. Don't watch it.
Jeez. Harsh.
Yeah, well, you can read my review on the website on pressplaymag.com.
Yes, the review for The Exorcist will be coming out as well.
But anyways, now that we've talked about movies for a while, we got to do more movie talk.
When we talk more movies.
Yeah.
So let me pull it up. We're gonna do a movie grid.
We're gonna see how this goes.
If you're not familiar with the subject of grids, they kind of became popular with like Immaculate Grid, which is for sports fans. Basically, you have a 3x3 grid with 3 names up top, 3 names on the side, and you have to kind of just match or think of an instance where both of those things happened. So I think the best way to really explain it is just to do it. So with this movie grid, on top we have Daniel Craig, nominated for Best Picture and released from 2013 to 2023.
And those represent the columns on the 3x3 grid.
The columns, yes. And our rows are director David Fincher, director Steven Spielberg, and Toni Collette. So, for instance, we can just get this one out of the way because I think it's the easiest.
Yeah.
A movie where Daniel Craig and Toni Collette are both in it, Knives Out.
Yes, that is probably the easiest one. So yeah, the idea is to try and guess a movie where each of the 2 categories apply.
Yes.
So for David Fincher, didn't David Fincher do a Bond movie?
He did not.
No. Well, then there we go.
No, I think
I'm really bad at these.
he did do a Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. That I do remember.
Has Daniel Craig apparently.
Just Dragon, the girl. Sorry, not a girl. Yeah,
This is the
100%.
only one. The
only one. Daniel
also,
Craig and go
sorry.
ahead.
I was gonna say Daniel Craig. We could, if we want to get. Oh, never mind. That won't get anything. For David Fincher, nominated for Best Picture, Social Network.
63%.
Boom.
Um,
And then Toni Collette, released from 2013 to 2023. Obviously, we can roll with the
Hereditary.
The horror movie
But
theme. We can do Hereditary.
one of the goals of the game too is also to get a low score because it measures like how often that answer is guessed. So as much, yes. So as much as I would like to do Hereditary, she was in a little movie that came out this year called Mafia Mama.
Oh Jesus!
Which I don't think anybody
9%.
9% of people guessed it. Let's see, Daniel Craig, Steven Spielberg.
Daniel Craig, Steven Spielberg. I'm trying to think of like what Steven Spielberg has directed recently in the 2000s. And the only movie that's coming to my mind is The Fabelmans.
We could just get that one out.
Yeah, that
Do we
was
wanna-
nominated for Best Picture, so we might as well rock with that one.
22%.
Yeah, and then another movie, Steven Spielberg, 2013 to 2023. I don't know.
I am drawing a blank.
Yeah, this is the problem when I do these movie grids. Is like I know all of these things, but like purposely trying to pull one is really hard for me.
David Fincher, released in 2013 to 2023, Gone Girl. I'm pretty sure that was like 2023 or 2020.
2023.
Sorry, 2013 or 2014. One of those two. Yeah.
59% too. That's a good pull. So we got the David
Thank
Fincher row done. Spielberg.
Spielberg and Craig.
2023. What else has he done recently?
We're a bunch of frauds.
We are a bunch of frauds.
Did he do did he do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Did he do that one?
Yeah, but I think that was after or before 2013.
Yeah, it was 2011.
Something like that.
Was
Crap.
Was Sixth Sense nominated for Best Picture? Because I
It
know
might
Tony
have been.
Collette's in it.
It might have been. I don't know much about Tony Collette's filmography. Oh, it was
Dang.
38%.
Okay, we're stuck with Spielberg.
Now we're back to Steven Spielberg. So Spielberg and Daniel Craig. I don't know much about Daniel Craig's filmography, other than
I don't think he did Cowboys and Alien. Because I know he was in there.
Yeah. What has Spielberg done from 2013 to 2023?
There's definitely a big one we're missing.
Oh, for sure there's a big one we're missing. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
We're frauds.
We really are.
Oh, my God.
Could always give up, but that's for quitters.
Yeah. Spielberg didn't do any Bond movies?
I'm like 100% sure he did not do anything.
Yeah.
He has so many movies,
He does too. That's the problem. Is like there's so many,
but
movies.
they're all like in the 1900s.
Yeah. Wow. I feel bad.
Did he do? We're not cheating. We're not
No,
looking on
I'm
any
not looking it up.
letterboxes.
Although I will say, for the sake of the podcast and not listening to us go for 20 minutes, I'll give it another like minute, and if we can't pull anything, we're giving up.
Did he do Tintin?
Oh, you know what? He did do Tintin.
Wasn't Daniel Craig in that one?
I think he might have been. What about what's the Bridge of Spies?
Yes. Did he do that? I saw that in theaters. I can't tell you a single thing that happened. I'm pretty sure it's just about like negotiations.
Oh, well, look at
Boom.
6% pull.
Wait, and then
Tintin?
No. It was it the Adventures of Tintin?
Just look up Tintin.
Tintin. I think it's the Adventures of Tintin because there's a lot of Tintin.
Yeah, there is a lot of Tintin. The Adventures of Tintin.
Lake of Sharks. Maybe I gotta check that one out.
The Adventures of Tintin.
I think it's Adventures.
Okay.
I want to say it's Adventures.
Oh, we did it! Let's go! No way.
Okay, so we got 9 for 9.
Wow, I can't believe that.
I know. The most popular correct answers for Craig and Fincher, that was Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 100%.
Yep.
Best Picture, David Fincher, Social Network. And David Fincher, 2013 to 2023, Gone Girl. So we
hammered the most.
we maxed that one out. Shit. Spielberg, though. Spielberg and Craig was Munich, was the most popular answer.
We had the Adventures of Tintin.
before Munich, but I want to say, yeah, it was one or the other. So we just picked
we picked the other
the
one.
least one. Best Picture, Schindler's List.
Yeah, so we went Fablemans.
We should have picked that,
Yeah.
and then we could have used Fablemans, but instead Aaron pulled out Bridge of Spies,
I don't know how
and
I
then-
did that. That was incredible.
and then Toni Collette and Daniel Craig, Knives Out, 98%. And nominated for Best Picture was Little Miss Sunshine,
Oh, interesting. So we did which one did we do for that?
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. That was a good poll.
Yes. And then Hereditary was her most popular movie from 2013 to 2023, which we guessed, but we played the score and we did Mafia Mama, and we ended up in the top 7% of players.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at us
See,
now.
we are not frauds. We know our stuff.
And off that note, we are just going to jump right into this tier.
Yeah, I want to, real quick, before we do that, I want to look up Spielberg movies, because I need to see what else he's done between 2023
Here.
and I need to look up his filmography, because it's going to really royally make me upset. Filmography. He did West Side Story from last year. Ready Player One, knew that one.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln,
The Post.
Lincoln, the BFG and the Post.
Wow.
So actually, really hasn't done a ton since 2013.
But it was like we were saying. Look at from 71 to 98. Even though this is kind of like a pretty even split, but
I mean, there's a lot though. Like that he's most known for was prior to 98.
mhm.
But I should have gotten West Side Story. I should have gotten Ready Player One. But I pulled out Bridge of Spies. So
Yes, because I would not have guessed anything else.
nope.
All right.
All right.
To the
Let's move on
tier.
to the tier list.
So our tier for today is horror movies that I could survive. Simple enough.
Yeah.
Our tiers are: we are escaping easily, escaping with some injury, a 50-50 chance of survival, we're dying trying to escape, and bruh, I'm literally dead.
Yeah.
So, first up, we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that I'm dead. I can't imagine trying to survive that. Honest, for me, I would succumb to my fate and be like, look, if this guy's attacking me while I'm sleeping, I ain't not sleeping, so I'll just eternally sleep and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. And I guess, too, just because with some of these, where I'm going to make a little rule,
Mm-hmm.
we have to play within the confines of the movie.
Mhm.
So, like, Jaws is down here. Like, obviously, we could just say, oh, I'm not going in the water. So I'm good.
It's like if you found yourself in the situation of the movie, could you survive?
Mhm. It's like, oh, I put the Last Voyage of Demeter, Dracula on a boat. I'm just not getting on that boat,
Yeah, right.
and I'm good. But we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
We got The Shining.
I honestly, I mean,
I'm just gonna say I like my odds.
I do kind of. I'm leaning more towards 50-50 chance. I do like my odds though. Like it's just one.
We could escape. He got deked out by a kid.
He did get deked. I feel like I could definitely outsmart him
hmm
at the very least.
Yes, he has an axe, but
But like at the same time,
Listen,
like
we are
there-
young, able-bodied men. Dodge, weave, boom, pop him in the chin.
I just on that staircase, I'm just fucking launching off and doing a drop kick down the staircase.
Yeah,
And
what the
then
fuck is he gonna
What's
do?
he gonna do? Seeing a 210-pound body flying at him with
Listen.
the intent to kick.
My friends call me the fridge based off how I play basketball. I am putting my shoulder down and I am going through him.
Yeah. Look, all I'm
So-
saying is in that bathroom scene with that knife, as soon as he puts his face through the fucking, like, here's Johnny, he's getting
Boom.
fucking a knife right in the face. Here's a knife stab.
Yeah, I think I can compose myself a bit better.
Yeah. I think so.
Um,
Plus, it's a massive hotel. Like, just hide for a little bit.
mhm.
Just
Oh
hide.
yeah.
It's a
Um,
hotel. It's massive. All right, moving on.
you got places to go.
There's a lot of places that you can go in that place.
So next up we got Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna say this because we've got more movies like it. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I am not surviving. Uh,
Honestly, I've looked up the science behind a zombie apocalypse, and I've thought about this recently. In fact, I had a dream about it, like a week ago, which is weird. But when you really think about it, like all you have to do to survive a zombie apocalypse is survive 2 weeks, because then the bodies die, and if you don't transfer the host, it becomes like after 2 weeks, those bodies decay enough to a point where they will not be able to survive.
well,
If we're looking at the science behind it.
are we talking about like the undead, or because there's like, I know it's not on here, and we're playing within like the Resident Evil world, but there are like movies and shows where it's like, oh, it's just like a parasite that's now controlling your brain. So you're not technically dead. You are just
Yeah.
not in control.
I guess it does depend on the movie. Like if we're talking 28 Days Later, where it's the rage virus,
Oh,
and those people are
fucked.
still alive, I'm dying the moment I step out the door.
I know we're not there yet. I'm just gonna put it in, bro. I'm literally dead.
Yeah.
Because if I am not eaten within the first like minutes, I am shooting myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am not surviving in a zombie apocalypse.
Especially in a zombie apocalypse where if you come in contact with blood, you will die.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
I will pass. Especially, I'm pretty sure in 28 Days Later, we got some runners.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they sprint.
Maybe that's 28 weeks later. I don't know, but either or, yeah. If that zombie is not moving at a brisk walk, fuck me.
Yeah.
I am done. But back to Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I'm pretty sure they're still alive.
Okay, so if they're still alive, I'd say that I probably have a 50-50 chance of survival here. For me personally,
I'm just built different.
I feel pretty good about it. I don't think I'm escaping with minor injury. I feel like if you're in a zombie apocalypse, the highest you can go is a 50-50 chance of survival.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, I would just work my way to a very, very rural area where there's like the population isn't super high to begin with, and figure it out from there. Like, if you live in a city, you're fucked. If you live in a city. But if you don't, I mean, if you're living in a place where there's not a lot of people, there's a pretty solid chance that you're going to make it a ways before things really get to you.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, those zombies aren't going to survive forever anyways. So all you have to do really is wait it out. Even in a situation where they're still technically alive, but they have a parasite, like, eventually that parasite's going to run out of food and it's going to die. So all you got to do really is wait it out. And I feel like I could figure out a way. The part that would really be tough would be encountering other people for me.
Well, I think too in Resident Evil, at least the first one. I know it's a franchise, but I'm pretty sure it's like in that like faculty, like in that building that they're just trapped in with like all these. I would lean. I'd die trying to escape, but
well, if we're talking
I like your confidence.
Being stuck in the building, I'm fucked. I'm dying. I'm trying to escape, but I'm dying. But in just like the world
we'll put it down here.
The world of Resident Evil, I probably have a better chance. But if we're just talking like you're stuck in a building where this virus breaks out, I'm dead. But I'm trying to escape.
Yeah. Next up we got Don't Breathe. Do you know that movie at all?
I do know
Okay.
the movie. with Stephen Lang, and he's the blind guy that tries to,
yeah, he is blind, but he is like a psychopath.
Like, I don't know. I watched that movie, and it's like, bruh, are you stupid? He's blind. I'm getting out of there easily getting out of there.
Listen, yeah, I mean, I'll put it up there. The problem is they fucked up.
They're stupid.
Not me.
Yeah.
They tried to talk to the guy.
Yeah.
And he got popped. But yeah, no, I'm in and out, easy peasy.
Yeah, no. If I knew, especially if I knew the guy was blind, like, no chance of getting caught. I'm pretty nimble on my feet.
I'm such a quiet walker. If I take my shoes off, dude, he would never know. He might. No, he wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Not even. Wouldn't even crack a little floorboard. Next up, we got Scream.
Scream. I feel like
I might 50-50.
I might be escaping with a minor injury here. If we're talking like original Scream villain Scream, like with the pratfalls and everything, I feel like I've got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
So, I mean Tatum beat up that dude. All she had to do was just finish the job with one of those broken beer bottles, and we were home free.
Yeah. I think we could escape. Once again, we are both able-bodied men. I think the only thing that might get us is like with Drew Barrymore. She would have escaped if there weren't two.
Scab, by the way, Drew Barrymore.
Noted scab. Her own employees don't want to work for her anymore. Who
would have thunk? Anyways.
My oh my. Look at that. The consequences of my own actions. Yeah. She would have made it if there weren't two. So I think that's our only real issue. But then again, if we're talking about like Scream 6 killers, I think we're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
They at least use guns sometimes.
Yeah.
Blair Witch.
So
we're gonna
go ahead.
We're gonna say we are dead.
Look, when it comes to the supernatural, where it attacks you and tries to kill you, I got no chance. I got no chance.
Especially once you're in the woods and this witch can manipulate the woods so that you'd never get out. Like that's kind of the whole. It's kind of the problem. Like you can't really escape it. You just die.
Yeah.
Once again, I think if I figure out what's happening, I hope I brought a gun.
Yeah.
Next up, we got The Ring.
I don't know much about The Ring. I know that the girl comes out of the TV.
Yes. Basically, you watch the tape.
Oh, yes, that's right. The tapes.
7 days later, you die.
I mean,
again, we could just say like, "Oh, I'm not watching the fucking tapes."
I mean,
but
when we back it up, if we look at it from a wider lens here, if someone hands you a videotape that says, "If you watch this, you will die in 7 days," I ain't watching the tape. I'm sorry, but I'm like, okay, throw them in the trash. I don't want them.
I'm trying to think. I think in the original, it was like Naomi Watts and her kid watched it. And I think that's how she ended up watching it as well, like trying to get him not to. So, like, I get that, but if we watch the tape, we're kind of dead because it was like looking for a mom and we are not mother.
Yeah.
But
I'm dying.
Yes. Next up, we got The Conjuring.
So, Conjuring, I feel like with my luck, I would be the one who gets possessed.
But you got to remember too, you got Ed and Lorraine Warren on your side.
Yeah. The Conjuring is one of those movies where does anyone even really die in that movie?
I'm trying to. I don't think anyone died. People get attacked by the possessed mother, but they're able to stop her before she kills the daughter.
I think realistically, not even in the movie does anyone die. So I'm getting out of there scot-free.
I think we might get hurt, by a possession or a possessed person.
Okay.
But I think we're living.
If I'm not the one who gets possessed, which is not a guarantee, then I'm feeling pretty good about getting out of there.
Yeah. Next up, we got Zombieland.
All right, this is the one where I'm throwing it in 50-50 for me.
I was gonna say, quite literally the rule book on how to survive.
Yes, and also the whole zombies thing that I've talked about already is like, this is like the quintessential, like, this is the undead have risen.
There's literally one right here where that is the quintessential.
That's fair.
They are rising.
That is fair. But this is like the modern day quintessential, like, the dead have risen, and if you just wait long enough, they'll be gone. Which kind of breaks the whole rules of zombie movies, but it's true.
I saw one. It was like a TikTok of like a Reddit thread of like, what do all zombie movies get wrong? One of the biggest things is like, it's not even like the zombies you're worried about. It's just like all the bacteria.
Yeah.
Like, you might not die from like a zombie. You just might die from like getting sick, like just normally.
Yeah, because there's no
dysentery
no
or whatever.
Like, you lose it when in a zombie apocalypse, society stops and you lose the ability to create medicine, and you know, you basically
everything
go back
is now on a finite supply.
Right. That's the problem. Like, if you have the ability to survive the zombie apocalypse to a point where the zombies are no longer a threat, you are back to square one, and you now have to, like, as a society, build it back up. That's the part that's tough. And that's why I always say 50-50 chance of survival. Like, if you don't die to the zombies, you might survive, but there's also a chance you die to literally anything else.
Everything else is out there. I forget what else they had, but it was like, oh, like, you should not be having kids during a zombie apocalypse. Like, there is no way you can deliver that baby safely. And with all the scarce resources, is like, you can't really bring another mouth into it. But we digress.
Speaking of that, is A Quiet Place on this list?
It does not.
Can we talk about it real quick?
Why? Yes.
Just interject it in here. There is zero chance in A Quiet Place that I am surviving, strictly for the fact that I know myself, and at one point I will
You're a loud motherfucker.
rip a loud fart or something, and I'm dying as soon as that happens.
See, I feel good if my chances there, because I'm a pretty quiet dude. Plus, I don't know why they didn't think about it more. I would just live next to, like, I would build a house next to a waterfall.
Yeah,
so that there's always.
It's the greatest defense mechanism they got.
Yeah. I would like build a contraption or some shit that's just like nice and loud. So that's a distraction, so I could just exist.
Who knew their greatest weakness was a white noise machine?
Straight up. No, their greatest weakness is like the little girl's like hearing aid, which is somehow even worse. Okay, next up, Hatchet. Now, I don't blame you if you have no idea what this movie is.
Couldn't tell you.
Think of if Friday the 13th took place in a swamp in Louisiana, and instead
I'm dying trying to escape.
Yeah, I think, and like, imagine if Jason was like
a hillbilly,
bigger, stronger, yeah, and dumber.
Yeah, yeah, I'm dying. I'm probably dying there.
Yeah, there's not too much to say more about that. It's a very under the radar franchise, but a lot of people die in it, and I think we'd be one of them.
Oh yeah.
Hellraiser. Again, this is such an easy one to just be like, oh, well, I'm not going to fucking mess around with the fucking cube so that they're never even there. But if it comes into our possession, I think we are getting sucked into hell by accident.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, we're smart people.
Smart people, but
we're so gonna do that. Like, just fuck up like that.
It's just like, because even in the remake, it was like not even messing around with, like, they didn't even solve the puzzle, but they just got pricked by it and it absorbed their blood, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, well, shit,
Screwed now.
we fucked up.
Yeah.
Next out, the House of 1,000 Corpses. Once again, I can see in your face. I don't know if you're familiar. Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, 1,000. It's basically like a cult, not a cult. It's literally just like 3 or 4 people,
Mm-hmm.
but they are sent by the devil
So
to
it's just a
kill
cult?
people. Yes,
Are they normal
but
people? Are they actually sent by the devil?
no, they are normal people, but they are like if every they just have like perfect efficiency. I would say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like come across them, you're dead. Like they will trap you and kill you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say we're gonna die trying to escape.
I mean, it's 1,000 corpses. I'm trying to say. I'm
Listen,
sitting here
they
thinking,
are
like,
efficient.
I'm thinking like in my head, like, man, if they're just normal people, I might have a good chance. But then it's like, they got 1,000 of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably
They
I'm
rack up
probably
bodies.
not.
Okay, next up we got Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I'm gonna say it. I don't think we got 50-50 chance.
I was thinking 50. I was even thinking a little bit more, strictly on the fact, like, depends on the era of Jason we're talking. If we're talking like Friday Part 2, where he's a real dumb sack,
We're just
we're
sack of shit.
outsmarting the shit out of that dude. I'm sorry, but like, I mean, and also the problem with like these movies in particular, someone always survives.
Mm-hmm.
Someone always gets away.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we got a good chance. We got a chance.
Yes, it's very much whether can we be a main character or are we just a body
Yeah.
for him.
Look,
I-
we don't. Everyone who dies in those movies puts themselves in stupid situations.
Mhm.
You know. So
I think we're smarter.
I think we'd be smarter than that.
Escape with injury.
Yeah, I think so.
Halloween.
Michael Myers is the one that I would say we probably are close to a 50-50 chance. Although the only one who ever survives in those movies is someone related to Laurie Strode. So maybe not.
I think we die trying to escape.
Yeah.
I just feel like Michael, he's too good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even doesn't really matter if we can outsmart him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the boogeyman always comes around.
Yeah. Like the difference is like Jason is a dumb sack of shit,
Mhm.
and Michael Myers is not.
Yeah. Next up we got The Evil Dead.
Now, can we? I know we've said like, oh, we just wouldn't do the thing, but in this movie, it's a little bit different because they hear the recording of the guy saying, "Don't read the book," and then they read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I heard the recording and the guy said, "Don't read the book," I'm not reading the book. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
they were given ample warning in the movie not to do the thing, and then they did the thing.
it's kind of just like we have to insert ourselves into the second half of that movie.
Yeah.
Because you cannot put us into a situation where there's a spooky book and ample evidence of that book not being good and proper, and us still being like, maybe it's interesting.
You never know. It might have like $1 million.
Yeah.
Not only did they read, they read the book out loud, too, which is the thing that they said not to do. Like if they had just opened and been like, that's weird.
Yeah. Have you ever just read a book and just been like, oh, I don't have a book near me, but it's just like, yes, chapter 1.
And especially when that book is in a
Where you
weird...
going with that shotgun, Pa?
Especially when that book is in a weird language that like you have to like sound it out.
Mhm.
Like you're obviously reading a cult chant or something. Like you're reading a spell to raise the dead. Like, don't read.
Yeah, dude. When I was in Italy and I saw like books on the side, like in the little bookshops, I would open it and be like, "Oh yeah, I don't know this shit," and then put it back.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not trying to sound out each word.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't see a world in which I would not be escaping easily from the Evil Dead. Cause I can't. This is like I get like you gotta put yourself in the situation, but I
think we have to put ourselves in the situation of someone else read the book, and we just happen to be there.
I mean, in that case,
I think we're dying trying to escape.
I don't think I'm dying. I really don't. It's like
put in 50-50.
What else do you have to? I mean, you have to stab the book with the knife or whatever it is.
No.
What do you do? You throw the book in the fire?
No, the book can't be destroyed.
Yeah, what did they do to get out of it?
So you have to just kill all the people that become possessed, essentially.
No,
that's literally it. Like,
I'm looking up the plot now. I gotta look at this up.
Well, because even I'm trying to think, in like the 2013 remake is a bit more clear. Like, okay, this demon, the evil entity, needs to claim X amount of souls before it can like come out, and the only way that they were able to, or the one person was able to survive, literally was because she killed that devil with a chainsaw.
So in the original, Ash does burn the book. He throws it into the fireplace and burns it. And that's what gets rid of the Deadites.
Damn it. It's almost like we did a watch along and just completely forgot.
So, I mean, honestly, like, even if that happened, my first instinct would be, I got to get rid of this book that raised the dead, and I'm throwing it in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see a world in which I'm not getting out of there easily. Getting out of there.
Yeah, I'll put it in 50-50 just because it's such a technicality.
Mm-hmm.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Because Hannibal is locked up
in prison.
Mm-hmm. And Buffalo Bill, I do not think he likes us enough to want to wear our skin.
Right, and I think that we're like intelligent enough not to toot our own horns constantly in this tier list, but we wouldn't be like a random police officer, guarding we'd be the detective. We'd be Jodie Foster's character, where we'd be like the detectives trying to investigate. And I think we'd get on Hannibal Lecter's good side, where he wouldn't want to eat us.
Yeah, like, funny. I just saw that I have the entire box set of like the Red Dragon and I think Red Dragon. I think that's where we're kind of more fucked. Mm-hmm. Once it's more of like, okay, there's a killer outside of Hannibal who will like kill men. Mm-hmm. But for Silence of the Lambs, I think we're good.
Yep.
Next up, we got It.
If we don't put this at Escape with Injury, I mean, literally, children defeated him by making fun of him. By bullying.
Let that be a lesson, parents. Make sure your kids grow up bullies.
I mean, we come from New England. Mm-hmm. And New England, especially Massachusetts, is not known for being the nicest place.
No. Listen.
I am tormenting the shit out of Pennywise.
Big ass head looking ass.
Who fucking wears clown makeup in 2023? What are you, a fucking loser?
Yeah. No. I think we're good.
Yeah, we good. He might get a swipe in, but we good.
Yeah. Next up, Host.
I don't know host.
Host is another paranormal
Okay.
one where everyone just dies.
Okay, then I mean that sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like, oh, we want to, as a group of friends, they do like an online seance. This is like one of those cool movies where it's shot over Zoom.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, that movie. Yep.
Yeah. Which is cool. And they do like an online seance, which again, I don't think any rational person is doing. Lucy, get down.
Uh-oh. Cat.
Katie's in trouble.
Anyways.
Anywho.
We're gonna die if we do this.
Yeah, if we play the game, we're dead.
Moving on.
Night of the Living Dead.
I mean,
the quintessential.
This is, if we're putting Zombieland here, we're putting Night of the Living Dead in 50-50.
Well, because Night of the Living Dead 2, people do survive. Not like the main group that we follow, but even like the last guy, he doesn't die to zombies. He dies to fucking rednecks.
Yeah.
who were just like, oh, that dude might be a zombie, and just pop him.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss up. If we can like basically just survive a weekend, we're good.
Yep.
Next up, we got The Birds.
The Birds. I don't know much about The Birds.
It's a bunch of birds.
Yeah. Just stay inside.
Not even. Well, there are scenes of like the birds like get inside, but okay. Listen, a bird flew into my basement. I got cats. I got shooters on my side. Chased them into
for cats.
Right there. She's the one. Got that bird to fly into my backpack, and I zipped it up.
Nice.
Because I was useless.
Wait, you actually had a bird in your basement?
Yeah, I actually had a bird. Lucy.
Oh
no.
Oh.
I'm talking to her up, and she's disobeying me. Thank you.
Nice.
It is funny. There's like, there weren't a ton of deaths in the birds, but one of them was just because some dude started smoking by a gas station.
Nice.
Where there's like a puddle of gas.
Idiot.
Yes. Okay, next up we got Jaws.
Jaws. That's an interesting one because, like, obviously shark.
You just don't go in the water.
Don't go in the. But like beyond that, if we're in the water, the shark's like around our boat. Like, what was the reason that they couldn't just go away? They were specifically hunting that shark. They weren't just trying to escape it. So are we?
No, yeah, they were hunting it.
Are we in the spot where we're trying to hunt the shark, or are we in the spot where we're just trying to escape the shark?
I think we have to factor ourselves as the lead. So we are the sheriff.
Okay. So
trying to.
I mean,
we are hunting this thing down.
I think we could come up with a way to get rid of it.
I mean, quite 2/3 of that boat made it. And the only reason that third person, I can't think of his name.
Anyways.
Yeah, it was the fisherman who died, but like Hooper and Chief Brody, we live.
Yeah, we're smart enough.
So, I think we might escape with like an injury, but I think we kill that shark first.
It's like, hey, look, we have a giant shark. What do we have on this boat that we could destroy a giant shark with?
We got oxygen tanks and a gun. Let's try that first.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we got Carrie. So I'm gonna take it from like the prom scene. So Carrie gets humiliated, dumped the pig's blood on her, and then she just like burns the bitch down.
Yeah.
I think we can escape with injury.
I just wouldn't bully the poor girl.
Well, but that's the thing. It was like, it was everyone at that prom who got essentially. Like, some people escaped. I think we might have been one of them. I think as soon as we saw like a girl just get
Oh, I'm
pig's
out.
blood
I'm
dumped
fucking
on,
out of there.
I'm dipping.
As
I'm like,
soon as
I'm not associated with this in any way, and I don't
Yeah.
even want that to be an
I'm
option.
not even like if we're at a dance, I'm not even like near the dance floor at this point. Like, I'm kind of hanging off to the side. As soon as I see that happen, and trust me, you
I'm out.
see it happen, I'm like, fucking see you later. This girl just conjured pig's blood. I'm not staying for this shit.
Yeah, because we don't know that she has like telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
We just saw a girl get like pig's blood dumped on her
From out of nowhere.
from out of nowhere, and I'm like, you know what? This is not the place to be.
And then if I had seen,
Respect.
and then the second part of it is see someone go up in flames, all of a sudden, like that's where I'm like, see you fucking, I'm out. Whoa, no way.
Yeah, I think we're getting out of there
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Counterpoint to it: don't be bullies, kids.
Yes.
Otherwise, a girl might use her mind powers to blow up your car while you're in it. Next up, we got aliens, and we are just going to pop that right
Yeah,
there.
I'm not good enough to survive that.
No, we are dead.
Yeah.
We are literally dead, bro.
Yeah.
That's all we need to say about that. Jeepers Creepers. So I'm gonna put it like this. It's kind of in the same boat as like the 1,000 Corpses.
Mm-hmm.
If you could avoid him, you're straight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you become a target of his, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. I mean, where did we put
We
1,000
put die
Corpses?
trying to escape.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good.
I might even put it in that 50-50 just because if we don't, because the reason in the first one it's like Justin Long and his sister, the only reason that they become targets is because they saw this dude, the creeper, dumping a body down a hole, and they decide, let's go down in that hole and see what just happened.
Yeah, yeah. But if we found ourselves, we're putting ourselves in the situation. We found ourselves there.
Yeah, and Jeepers Creepers too. It was like a school bus of like kids coming back from like a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Half of them live.
Okay.
I think we could be in that
50-50.
half.
Yeah, I think so.
Next up we got the Reanimator. Listen, we're escaping easily because it is a fucking nerd who like kind of just accidentally kills people and then
Nice.
brings them back to life with like his goo.
Nice.
I think we could body him.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Tag team. Got no
Tag team
chance.
that nerd. We're good. Amityville Horror. So this is another one of those possession movies. However, well, in both iterations, the original and the Ryan Reynolds remake, no one really dies.
Okay.
So
Are we
I
dropping
think-
this with The Conjuring?
I was gonna say yes. I think we could escape
Mhm.
with the most minor of injuries.
Yeah, that's the thing with like with those like possession movies or like the supernatural stuff is like, yeah, they're scary. The movies themselves are scary, but like, not a lot of people die in those movies. It's just really scary.
It quite literally, like the way that these movies end is they just leave the house. That's it.
Which, by the way, would be my first option. Oh my
Yes.
god, thank you for bringing that
That
up.
because that's the thing with most of these, like The Conjuring, or it's like, hey, if you can't leave, like if you're like attached to this demon, it's just gonna follow you.
Mhm.
This is just like the house is possessing people and like just fucking dip.
Yeah, that's my bit. Like, if you're in a place where like, oh, this is a haunted house and you don't want to be here, I'm not being there. I'm gone. I'm dipping. See you later.
Especially because in like the first one, it's like, okay, it starts with like this like slaughter of a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main family then moves into the house like a year later.
Yeah, no.
I'm reading the fucking paper and I'm like, oh, people died here? I'm good.
No,
Recently too.
yeah,
If it was like, yeah, if it was like, oh, like 200 years ago when this house was like first built. That's first off, that's way too long of a house to be alive. So if it was like 60 years ago, like a family died here, I'm still probably not moving in.
Yeah.
I don't like the vibes.
I don't either. Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm gonna put it in 50-50.
Yeah, he is pretty dumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's pretty much as dumb as like part 2 Jason, but you also have to factor in he's got a family of cannibals with him. So it's like you gotta like deal with more people than just him, who can kill you and want to kill you.
Yep.
But again, it's just like I just don't go in his house. Don't break and enter into like this house and just like start opening all the doors, because then that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, right.
Okay, next up we got Tremors. Kevin Bacon classic.
Tell me about Tremors, because I don't know it.
I vividly remember watching this with my dad multiple times.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like these earthworm monsters that eat people, and they live in the ground, and they can sense like vibration. And they are defeated by just running off a cliff. Just running them off a cliff. You know, like the Alaskan bullworm episode of SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Sounds so stupid. I'm sorry.
This is one of those two where you can just go inside.
Yeah.
And you are pretty much fine. I think we escape with injury.
Okay.
The Thing.
I am dying.
We are dying.
Look, I like to think that I'd be smart enough to deduce, but I just don't. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen.
No. Aliens I don't mess with. Just a rule of life, I guess.
Yeah.
No hard drugs, no aliens. I'm good.
There you go. Candyman.
Candyman. Again, this could be as simple as just not saying his name 3 times.
Yeah. Also, even if I did say his name 3 times, I'd be like either it'd be like, yo, fucking Tony Todd? What's up, dude? Or I'd be like, you're the coolest motherfucker I've ever seen. And then
please don't kill me. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't even get to see him.
Yeah.
To have the second to be like, holy shit, is that Tony Todd?
Yo, Tony Todd. And he'd be like, yeah, it's me. It's
just
Tony
hooked
Todd.
through you. Yeah. So yeah, I think we might. I don't even think we're gonna put up a low fight, but maybe run away. But we're dead.
Yeah.
Saw.
Dead. Not even a chance.
This was my hot take. Fucking do whatever it takes.
I wouldn't. If he's like, yeah, the one that comes to mind right away is the well, actually, I guess it depends on the trap. Because if it's the one where it's like the face ripper from the first one, where it's like you gotta get the key.
The reverse bear trap.
Yeah, the reverse bear trap, where you gotta get the key from this other guy's stomach. I'm cutting that guy's stomach open 8 days of the week. But if it's like the one where it's like, oh, in order to survive, you gotta donate blood and you gotta put your hand through the fucking saw and rip your hand in half. I'll just die. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that shit. Just fucking kill me.
I'll put 50-50 because there's some. Well, there's also the whole Amanda Young traps, which she purposely made like unescapable. In that case, we're dead.
Yeah.
But we're gonna assume that this is our good friend John Kramer,
and he actually gives you like a chance to survive.
Yeah, like I don't want to spoil Saw X.
Yeah, don't spoil Saw X.
So I'll just even the original. It's like, hey, cut your own leg off to escape. I'll do it.
I won't do that. But the one that's like, here's a maze of barbed wire, or like whatever it was. I will be very careful, but I can navigate that maze.
Well, because a lot of them too, I just spit everywhere.
Nah. Da, 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 da.
The thing about Jigsaw. No, because he is a very literal speaker as well. Like, in the, I think it was just Jigsaw, from like a couple years ago. At the very end, he's like, the key to your freedom is this bullet, and he puts it in a gun, and he says something about like it'll blow back in your face, something like that. Where he is literally saying the key is in the bullet, and if you fire this shotgun, it is going to blow your face off. And the girl still takes the shotgun, aims it at the other dude, and blows her own face off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you just listen, you're good.
Yeah.
And because there's other ones, it's like, oh, break your hand. I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
But I do get what you're saying. Like, I don't want to like dismember myself.
Right. I don't want to dismember myself. If it's like too much, like the one where you got to find the key in the
syringes,
the syringe trap, I'm dead. I'm not doing it. Just like fucking, just kill me.
It's all icky.
Just kill me. Like the hypodermic needles are gonna kill me anyway. Just fucking end it.
Yeah.
Or like the one where you have to like the like I said before, you have to put your hand in the saw trap to like donate blood to be able to get out. It's like, I'm not cutting my hand in half. I'm not doing it. You can kill me. I would rather in that scenario, I would rather die than go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
Getting closer. Wrong Turn.
I don't know
Bunch of
either.
Yeah, bunch of mutant inbreds just like kill you if you come across them. They're like not as dumb as like adjacent, but they're in the same boat of like they know this area better than you will.
Yeah.
So I think we die trying to escape.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dracula on a boat, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I think we're dead, man. Dracula's on that boat in the middle of the ocean. You really don't have any place to go.
Yeah, you're kind of trapped.
Child's Play, though.
Oh, I'm escaping.
It's a fucking doll.
I'm escaping very easily from this fucking. I'm not even getting any injuries. I'm gonna escape. It's a doll. Like, if a doll comes to life, I'm fucking putting it out a window. I don't care.
Listen, burn it.
Yeah,
we're good.
Run it over with your car. Burn it. Fucking
rip it apart.
Rip it apart. Yeah, like, what's it gonna do? It's a doll. It's a doll.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, Final Destination.
Dead.
We are quite dead.
I like to think that I'd be like the main character who survives death, but like if I'm not dying in the initial
time too.
They do. If I'm not dying in the initial accident, I'm dying later on. I don't care.
Yeah.
I might commit suicide because I just know. Be like, oh, I cheated death.
Well, actually, in Final Destination 2, one character tries to commit suicide with a gun and it misfires because it was not his time. But that's our list.
Yeah, that is our
list. We're quite literally dead with Final Destination if you didn't.
Quite literally.
Yeah, good tier.
Solid list. I think there's actually quite a few that I think we could get out of.
Mm-hmm. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Let me do the intro here and or the outro, and we can wrap this up.
All right. Go for it.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you for listening to this episode. This has been a fun one. We've been doing some good tiering. And yeah, so if you like this episode, you can subscribe, follow us on social media, all that kind of stuff. And also tell your friends, follow us on your favorite podcast platform, tell your friends about us, leave us a rating, do all that kind of stuff. I want to thank Josh Woodward for our awesome theme music. And also, once again, I want to plug our new website, Press Play. It's pressplaymag.com. So that's pressplaymag.com. You can visit the website, check out all of the stuff that we're posting as we're trying to build up the website and our content, as well as all the stuff that we had before. All of our movie reviews and stuff are all still there. So you can check that out. Follow us on social. It's, right now we're just rolling with the Filmbox reviews on social. So you can find us on there. It'll all be linked in the description. And also each of our Letterboxd accounts. You can find us there as well. So without further ado, this has been the Filmbox Podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode and everything is okay. I just wanna play, unplug for the day and live in the moment, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode, yeah.